there's um there's quite a shift taking place at the moment, shall we say. I have touched on it before in the last video or two, how our Taoiseach and our Taoiseach are now coming out with a total change tact on immigration, saying that it's out of control. Too many here and needs to be addressed, and even going as far as talking about foreign hubs where we could possibly deport some of these people that shouldn't be here. The media are really talking about immigration now, that it's a bit of an issue. Stuck, where did that come out of? And as I said, they owe so many people in this country an apology for what they called us, for what they labelled us, for what they tried to, put us down as. But more importantly, they actually, they also owe the people of so many towns and villages scattered around Ireland an apology for basically just saying nobody gets a veto on who gets to live in your town, and we're sending them there and deal with it, basically. But it's a huge shift. As I said, that spoil the vote thing is really, really throwing a spanner in the works for these guys, because now they're going, oh, shit, didn't realise there was so many people could come together and go against us. But you see Bill Gates coming out with climate change. Don't worry about it. No big deal. What the fuck, Bill? You've been spending years, and more importantly, billions, on this climate change, and now all of a sudden it's not a threat? Interesting thing is, he had dinner with Trump about a month ago himself, Zuckerberg and a few other people, and now all of a sudden he's coming out saying, no, it's fine. Climate change. No, it's actually not going to wipe out humanity. A lot more things we need to worry about apart from that, which is very, very strange. But what I can't help stop from realizing is, somebody sent me the link to Matt Cooper and Ivan Yates's podcast, Pat to something or other, can't remember what it's called, and the condescending tone, particularly from Matt Cooper, was, a couple of people spoiled the vote. In fairness, Ivan Yates, he was saying, don't underestimate how powerful that spoiled the vote was. That's a big statement, and the government are worried. But they were kind of insinuating that, okay, the people behind it, which was the entire country, by the way, but I think they were referring to us that did the press release, well, they kind of appeal to those who are easily swayed. So they're trying to insinuate that, you're thick, and that somebody who came out with something online, who has a bit of a following, they were trying to suggest that we've got a big following online, and, you're so easily persuaded. Now, when you look at the so-called influencers of the country, who tend to be on the books of RTE and these kind of guys, well, they all have more followers than we have, apparently, and yet, how is it their following isn't as influential as apparently ours was? But it was more the fact on how they continuously talk down for nearly 215,000 people who come out and spoil the vote. Yeah, look, you're not that smart, you didn't know what you were doing, you're not too sure how to vote, to, a councillor, Fine Gael councillor coming out saying, insinuating that we're all on the dole because everybody who spoiled the vote should have their social welfare taken off them. Like, I don't think they realise the more and more they come out with this shit, the more and more they're pushing into our pot, making it a bigger team. And if they're going to all of a sudden change their tact, this is my little bit of word of advice. If you're trying to win the people over, you're going to have to get rid of all these guys that you've been calling us, that have been calling us all kinds of names for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. What did they say? Yeah, these guys who did the spoil the vote, they're all anti-vaxxers, and, they're trying to insinuate that we're fucking nut jobs. I'm the only nut job in the gang, clinically fucking insane. We all know that. But if they think that's what's going to win people over, you got to understand, guys, that's why 215,000 people came out and spoiled their vote, is because we're sick of you guys labelling us all this shite. We're all hard-working, decent people who are trying to make a living, trying to make some sort of good livelihood for ourselves, and it's you guys who've been looking down on us for so many years. Hence, the result of spoil the vote. So if the government are trying to win the people over, get rid of your leaders. If the mainstream media are trying to win the people back over, well, get rid of the guys you've had presenting all those shows for the last 4 or 5 years. Dump them, because nobody's listening to them anymore. Nobody gives a shite what these guys say anymore. In fact, So many people who've moved on from mainstream media. They don't even listen. What did I see on Ireland AM today? Is having a boyfriend embarrassing? Like, what fucking planet are these guys on? Is having a boyfriend embarrassing? That's what a panel talked about for about 10 minutes. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, lads. No wonder your numbers are crashing. No wonder my numbers are going through the roof. Because nobody wants to listen to your wokey cokey shit anymore. Anyway, what the fuck do I know? That's just my ramblings as to what I'm noticing that's going on at the moment. Massive shift in sentiment. They know they've lost the room. They're trying hard to win it back. They're not going to win it back with the same people that have literally called us everything for the last 5 years. They're not going to win us back with the same reporters on their TV shows and the same journalists spouting the same shit. And other journalists, I use that, coming out saying, has anybody noticed restaurant portions have gotten smaller? Like, fuck off, mate. Go, report on something relevant. Go report on all the crap that's going on as to why restaurants are in so much trouble. Everyone is sick shit of the establishment for the last 4 or 5 years. From the political leaders to the so-called top mainstream media personalities. You're done. You're done. That's why your numbers are absolutely crumbling. That's just my take on what's going on in the world at the moment. So if the powers that be are really trying to make a difference, well, it's time to actually make a difference and make a huge change. Because that's the only thing that's going to save you. But yeah, imagine that. Bill Gates, climate change, cows farting, destroying the planet. Oh, actually, no, it's fine. What is poor old Greta doing? She must be going, Bill, you've left me. What have you done? How dare you? How dare you, Bill, leave me? It's mad. The world's gone fucking mad. And they all think I'm the crazy one. Let me know in the comments. Nuts, or do I have a point?